Each week when I sit down to make this video, one of the first things that I have to do is decide which car I want to kick the video off with. And this week I have so much cool stuff to take a look at that I had a really hard time deciding what that was going to be. Was it going to be the new CTR2 from Para64? Maybe the Mazda Miata from GT? Maybe this awesome RWB backdate from Tarmac Works? Or even a brand new Mercedes 190E, which is one of my favorite castings from GT. And then this arrived on my doorstep today. I had actually forgotten that I had ordered this, and it showed up much quicker than I had even expected. And once this came in, then I knew what I was going to be starting with. So this is a brand new model. This is a resin model. This is not a diecast model. It's from a brand called Tetsuma, and you might think that this is yet another generic Chinese brand, but it is a brand actually based in the United States, in Los Angeles. And this is as far as I can tell, a brand new company that is making very high detail resin models. And so this first model is the Bisimoto 935 K3V. And what that is a highly customized version of a Porsche 935. And the Bisimoto company actually, they're an engineering company, and they took this Porsche 935 and they turned it into an electric car, which is pretty cool. I think it's like 600 horsepower worth of electric motors that they have put into this thing. Obviously, they put some pretty fancy body work on it, and just some generally incredible styling. And then the Tetsuma company put out this resin model. So we've got two screws here. We're gonna go ahead and take this off the base, or off this cardboard plinth that it sits on, so that we can get a really good look at this. And so this model was, let's say, not cheap. In fact, I think this may be the most expensive model that I have purchased so far. 1/64 scale, these cost about $77. And it is a resin model, so it is very light. And you do want to be very careful with it. But it is a very, very detailed model. Let's see, the front wheels do turn. The back wheels do not turn. So that's a little bit disappointing, because these seem like, it almost would roll, but not quite. And I have my light out of position here. We can see that they have done this very interesting design on the front wheels, and have these very cool rear wheel designs as well. And this is a pretty good replica of this car. Took a look at the photos of it online, and they reproduced all of the logos and overall captured the shape of the car. You have logos all along here. Carbon fiber rear wing, got that carbon fiber look. Very clear windows, and it is overall a very beautiful model. And let's see, on the base we have absolutely nothing on the base, which is interesting. But yeah, these wheels are very interesting. It's a very interesting design. But yeah, very cool. So Tetsuma, it's a new brand. They also have another custom Porsche model, or a couple different custom, or I don't know what's the right term, a tuned Porsche that they have put out now, all resin models, and it's very, very interesting. I'll probably be picking up a couple of those as well, because this thing is actually quite nice. Love the carbon fiber here with the rivets. and some taillights in there. And then actually, let's see if we can take a look at if we can get anything in this interior here. You do have nice clear windows to take a look in there, but it's pretty dark. It's not a whole lot to see in there. But yeah, beautiful model, pretty pricey. Is it worth the price? And that all depends on on your how deep your pockets are. But I think it's pretty cool, so I'm happy with it. Next, another heavily customized Porsche. This time it is the Ruf CTr2 from Para64. So we had received the Ruf CTR1, or just the Ruf CTR originally, which has been a very popular model from Para64. And now we have the CTR2. So the CTR1 was based on the 1987 Porsche 911 Carrera 3.2, and then this is based on the Porsche 993, which is a later generation of the Porsche 911. And of course, the first version, have to get it in yellow because this car is known as the Yellow Bird. So yellow is the natural color for it. And it's very similar in a lot of ways to the CTR1. Personally, I think the CTR1 is actually a better looking car. I think I like this particular generation of the Porsche 911 better, and I like this style of wing a little bit better. But it's very cool to have the different generations. I love this, and Mini GT is bringing out another version of the Ruf CTR, and theirs is actually the Ruf CTR Anniversary. It is not the same as either of these Para64 versions. The Anniversary is actually a new production vehicle that is inspired by these original CTRs, but it is a from the ground up new vehicle. And I believe it is not even based on existing Porsche models. So that one's going to be very interesting to see as well, and that should be coming out fairly soon. But yeah, this is very awesome. So let's see, Para64, yeah. So Para64 has been claiming now that one of their goals is for their vehicles to roll, and the previous model, it does roll, but it's a little bit rough. And the one we looked at last week, the green one, which is at the back there, that one actually rolls much better than the earlier for two versions that I have. This yellow one and then the black one, which is also back there. This rolls much better. So it seems that they are improving their ability to roll. So that's a good thing. And Para64s do not have any suspension. But it is... yeah, so cool car. I do still like this one better. This is one of my favorite castings of last year, and but this one is cool as well. I'm very happy to have that variation. And then speaking of variations, from Mini GT, we have now a Mazda Miata MX5, and the MX5 is the way the car is sold in the United States, and along with that, Mini GT also put out the Eunos Roadster, which is the way the car is sold in Japan. And, I, of course, had to buy both of them, even though they're both red, almost identical cars. But I like to have little, check out the little subtle variations. So we're going to get both of these out of the package and take a look at them and, do a quick comparison. There are a few minor differences from what I've seen, but to a great extent, they are largely the same vehicle. Obviously, one of the big differences is going to be that, you know, in the U.S. market, we get a left-hand drive car. In the Japanese market, you get a right-hand drive car. And we will see that captured in both of these. So first, we have the MX5, left-hand drive, as expected. You know, inserted taillight detail. Looks like, to zoom in here a little bit, yeah, you do have little inserts for the headlights, and this paint actually seems to have a little scuff in it. That's a little disappointing, but overall, you know, the MX5 is a cute little car. Was the you know, bringing back of this you know, two-seat convertible roadster concept back to the U.S. market, and has been quite successful. It's also been quite successful as a race car, because it is a rear-wheel drive car, so it makes a very good race car with a little bit of tuning. So, and then the Eunos. So we get a different badge on the front. So you have the Mazda here, and then the Eunos has the badge on the hood. And then, of course, this is going to be a right-hand drive car. And then the different license plate. One says Miata, and one says the Roadster, I think is what that says. Otherwise, their taillights are the same. Color's the same. Wheels are the same. And so, yeah. So very subtle differences. I think for most people, just picking up one of these is going to be the way to go, because there is not a whole lot of difference between them. So depending on which market you're in, or which market you have an appreciation for, that may be the one that you want to pick up. But I'm always happy to have little variations. I like that kind of thing. So very cool. Then we have from JackieKim another colorway of the 2005 Hummer H2, this time in gloss black. So quick look at the packaging. I've shown JackieKim a number of times on this channel. So this is a Chinese brand, roughly in the same class as Mini GT as far as quality goes, and just the general feel of the vehicles and their build quality. But they obviously do very different castings, and it's a brand I've really become a bit of a fan of. And I had picked up a yellow version of this in the past, and at the same time as I got that one, I actually picked this one up. So this one does seem to have a little bit of a cloudiness in the windows, which is a little unfortunate. But as far as the H2 goes, in 1/64 scale, I don't know of a better version of it than this one. And this is a very nice casting. And this is interesting. So it says used under license. I think that's the first time I've seen anything like that on a JackieKim model that implies that they have licensing for the casting, which is good, assuming that this is accurate. But otherwise, you know, the Hummer H2, not really my favorite vehicle in the world. In the real world. I mean, they're kind of a big monstrosity on the road, and but in diecast form, I think it's pretty awesome. And this is definitely the best version of it that I've seen. This one seems to have a little bit of glue where the mirror was put on. So this does have rubberized mirrors like a Mini GT does, and then the light bar on the roof. And I'm trying to see if I have the yellow one. Oh, there it is. Here, the yellow one too. I think the yellow one is actually a little bit better of a release. But I like to have variations. So, very cool. Then from Greenlight, we have or actually this is from Acme. This is not from Greenlight. This is from Acme, but it is made by Greenlight. We have the 1989 Special Services Ford Mustang, Georgia State Patrol, and this is in a beautiful metallic blue. So you have the state of Georgia on the back, and very cool. And these Acme releases seem to get the higher level of quality control that Greenlight can do. From the ones that I've picked up, I haven't seen any major quality issues. And this is a beautiful, for a police car, if you like police cars. And I love police cars. This is a beautiful livery for a police car. Nice metallic blue with white. And looks way better than I was expecting. I think the hood opens. Yep. So I get the engine in there. Looks like, I don't know. Is it going to close? That's disappointing. Okay. I think I can futz with that and get it to close. So you do actually have inserts for headlights on this one with some paint on them. And inserted taillights, and they actually use the correct pieces and put them in the correct orientation, which is not a guarantee on Greenlights. Again, not a Greenlight, it's an Acme, made by Greenlight though, so we can see Greenlight on the base. But this is, yeah, for a police car, it's beautiful. Love it. I keep hoping that Greenlight or someone will do the Arizona Highway Patrol. They have very cool looking vehicles now. Greenlight did just come out with one of the older liveries in Hot Pursuit Series 39. They did put out the Arizona Highway Patrol, but it's the older livery, and the newer ones are way cooler. But anyway, so Hot Wheels. I haven't had a whole lot of time to go to stores lately, but I did. Excuse me. Find this this Hot Wheels, or most of this Hot Wheels set. So this is an 8-car set, the Stars and Stripes set. And this thing that was strange was the pegs were completely full of these, and all of them were there, in multiple versions of all of them, except for this Ford Ranchero, which is very strange to me because I had no idea that the Ford Ranchero was in any way, shape, or form a desirable casting, but all of the other models were there, but no Rancheros at all. Strange. But so I just picked up the ones that I was somewhat interested in. So I picked up 4 of the models, and starting with this 1984 Pontiac Firebird. This series I always have a little bit of mixed feelings about, because they're pretty out there as far as liveries go. The whole Stars and Stripes thing is, very patriotic, but as far as cars go, it's a little, I don't know, it's a little hit or miss. But I grabbed a few of them just because I hadn't found anything in stores for a while, and figured I would go ahead and pick them up. And some of them are castings that I do like quite a bit, like this 71 Dodge Challenger, which is definitely a casting that I appreciate. This one has a red interior, which gives you a red front end, which is a little bit weird, and a red hood scoop. But it's not bad looking. Actually, it's kind of cool with the metallic blue with the red interior and then the flags. This actually looks pretty decent. And the red front end's okay. It's a Hot Wheels. You know, Hot Wheels, like, compared to this is, it's just a different category of thing. You have to appreciate them differently. So we also have the '84 Corvette. I'm not entirely sure why I picked this one up. This is not my favorite Hot Wheels casting. Again, red interior. And you do, because of the interior, you do get tail lights there, which is actually kind of nice. It's, you know, it's okay. And then this one, which is one of my favorite Hot Wheels castings, the 2018 Ford Mustang GT. And this one actually looks really cool. I like this one a lot. The flag livery all over it. Front white wheel and her rim on the wheel, and rear red rim on the wheel. Gray interior in this one. Yeah. And I learned to really appreciate this casting when I was doing custom Hot Wheels, because I use this casting as my test bed to develop like detail painting techniques to try to, you know, capture the Mustang headlights and capture the Mustang taillight and rear end detail and so on and so forth. It was very useful, and I did a number of customs based on this casting, so I've learned to really enjoy it. But this one looks pretty cool. So, moving on, another in-store find, one of the very few that I have had lately. This was a M2 1970 Ford Torino Cobra, and I don't typically go for these Coke-based releases from M2. Just not really something I'm all that interested in. But this one looks enough like a stock car, and it's a car that I you know, was kind of interested in checking out. So I went ahead and picked it up. Not a casting that I have any other examples of. And I do actually like stock cars of this generation, even though this does not, as far as I know, or even attempt to reproduce a real car. But it's a kind of cool looking one. This hood looks maybe a little janky. Let's see, does it open? It does open. It's a pretty nice looking engine in there. That's cool. Is it going to close is the bigger question. And kind of closed. Looks like, does this have opening doors too? Yeah, it does. Yeah, those don't really want to open. Try this side. That one does a little bit better. It closed. That's good. You never know with M2 if that's gonna succeed or not. But yeah, some inserted headlights, painted rear end, painted taillights. 1970 on the license plate there. Yeah, pretty cool looking casting, even if it is, you know, just a marketing for Coke Coke products. So cool. I like that one. Next, from Tarmac Works Hobby 64. This is the RWB backdate, and this is, you know, a Hobby 64 release. So this is the super premium version, or super premium line from Tarmac Works. And this looks awesome. And so take a look at this. You get a card with it, which will have the number on it, which is 1937. So from what I can tell, the back date. So RWB is, you know, a customizer of Porsches. It's actually a Japanese company. Then they do very elaborate body kits, which if you're familiar with Tarmac Works at all, you'll have been exposed to their various different body kit styles. And the back date is a particular style of body kit that they have done on cars. it's a not quite as out there as some of their other body kits. So this, which I actually like a lot better. I'm not a huge fan of the more wild RWB body kits, even though they are kind of like this, this 934, 935. Is that, what was this? 935. But this car was inspired by the Kramer Porsches, Porsche 935s that they used to race. So that's what it's intended to look at, or look more alike. But this one looks really cool. Very nice. So it looks like it has a California license plate. It's cool. So this is a Hobby 64 release. So the wheels on this, the rear wheels turn, the front wheels do not move at all. So this one does not roll. Some of the later Hobby 64 releases have been rolling. This one is the exception. Oops. Wow, that went really out of focus. Let's see. Looks like you get a two-tone interior in there. And you've got some detail on the dash. You can focus in on that. And you get nice rivets around here, around the body work, which is pretty cool. So this looks pretty good. I mean, for Tarmac Works, I find Tarmac Works Hobby 64's quality to be a little hit or miss at times. Some of the other super premium brands, I think, tend to do a better job. This one overall looks pretty good, though. I think these little lenses here could be a little bit better, but it's fine. And I think this is a very cool looking car. I really like this one a lot. It's very nice. All right, continuing on, and something completely different. From Racing Champions Mint, we have the John Force 2021 Blue Def Platinum Chevy Camaro NHRA funny car. And this is a very interesting looking release from Racing Champions. Take a quick look at the back. So I had picked up a case of this release of Racing Champions because I was very interested in these funny cars, along with a couple of the other models in the case. And this thing is cool. If you like drag cars at all, it is a very unique kind of vehicle. It's funny that they try to make them, like based on like a real car. Like, oh yeah, this is a Camaro. Yeah, okay. I suppose it's a fiberglass shell, or it's made to sort of look like a Camaro. But this is very cool. So you've got a very big, very heavy metal body, and then this chassis is actually plastic with a metal insert. It looks like, maybe, or maybe that's just shiny. Yeah, it's metal, and then a plastic engine block. And you got the driver's seat back in there. It's very cool. These cars are always just mind-blowing. When you go to the races, the experience of these cars going by is really something. If you've never been to an NHRA race and experienced funny cars or the Top Fuel dragsters and the percussive, or the shock wave as they go by, it's definitely something worth worth checking out. And these are fantastic. So Racing Champions brand, I always describe it as being very hit or miss, and a lot of their models are just weird. They're weird. They're just kind of all over the place. But this is fantastic. It's very, very cool. If you like this kind of a vehicle, I'm very glad to have that. That's awesome. All right, next we have another Mini GT, and one of my favorite Mini GT castings, the Mercedes-Benz 190E 2.5 Evolution 2, and this is the 1990 DTM car. So they have put out quite a few of these now, and this this is just a new livery, so this isn't, obviously not a new casting. And this Boss livery is awesome. And I have a version in this livery already from Eunos 64, which I had meant to grab to compare to this one, because it isn't exactly the same. It is Boss, but it has different sponsorship here, and I suspect there may be other detail differences in it. So it would be fun to compare that, but I forgot to grab it off the wall, so I guess we won't be doing that today. But this is awesome. I love this car. Just a fantastic casting. And Mini GT does this, Eunos 64 does this, and Tarmac Works all do this, and they all do a great job at it. And Mini GT is, they rarely miss, and this one looks awesome. Such a cool livery on such a cool car. I'm very happy to finally have this one. Yeah. Very nice. So, like, if you compare this to, say, the Eunos 64, you'll get better headlight detail on the Eunos 64. You'll get things like the tow hooks and stuff like that. You'll get a much more detailed interior, and sometimes like the taillights and stuff might look a little bit better. But overall, Mini GT captures the vehicle very well, and realistically, it's more than good enough for a model that you would display on your wall. So it is fantastic, and it's they're of course a little bit less expensive, and they will roll, which we're out of, all the Hot Wheels are in the way, but they do roll, of course, which is fantastic. Not guaranteed with Eunos 64, and the Eunos 64 version of this car does not roll. All right, moving on. We now have from Greenlight, the Fire and Rescue series, the 2020 Ford Police Interceptor Utility, and the Fire Department livery. I collect this casting. I did not get, I buy a lot of Greenlight cases. I did not get a full case of this series. Because I think this is a little bit of a difficult series for Greenlight to do. I don't think they really have the castings to make this series work, because they don't do full-size fire trucks or things like that. So they're kind of restricted to pickup trucks, and like the closest thing to a fire truck they have is like a brush truck, which is pretty cool. But otherwise, it's a vehicle like this where it's cool. It's like a fire chief type vehicle, which is nice. And since I collect this casting, I'm happy to have it. But so this says Battalion Chief on the back, and let's see, we got a Land of Lincoln, Illinois license plate on there. But I just have a feeling that this series is going to get very repetitive very quickly, which I guess is a criticism that you can make about the Hot Pursuit series overall. And so maybe it's not any different. Maybe it'll be quite successful for them. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, that's my justification for not buying a case. Not much going on the base on this one. It's interesting, but it rolls. It's not. This is, wow. It's got a little wobble to it. That's Greenlight for you. All right, we have another Tarmac Works. Not something you see a whole lot of in 1/64 scale, an open wheel race car. So this is a Dallara Formula 3 car from the F3 Macau GP F3 World Cup in 2019, and another Hobby 64 release. So I love race cars, and I'm very happy to have another open wheel race car because they are very rare. You know, Greenlight does Indy cars. They have put out, you know, Indy car for just about every driver, but all the Indy cars are the same. So they just have different liveries, but the car itself is always the same, which makes it easy for them. It means they just have to do one casting and then they can sell it 20 times with different liveries on it, versus you know, like a Formula One car, which almost nobody does Formula One cars in 1/64 scale anymore. There used to be quite a lot. You know, Kyosho and Aoshima did Formula One cars once upon a time, but they are very rare now. So it's very cool to see this. It's an F3 car, so not a Formula One car. It's going to be smaller. It's a slower car, and these, I believe, are more of a spec car than a typical Formula One car is. Actually, I know that they are more of a spec car than a typical Formula One car. But I do also believe that, you know, from Tarmac Works, we will be seeing some new Formula One cars. They have Ferrari license for racing cars now, so I suspect we'll be seeing Ferrari Formula One cars. And they were also showing off a Mercedes Formula One car. It wasn't clear to me if it was 1/64 scale. The mod, or it was a prototype, and it looked like it may have been 1/43 scale, but hopefully they do it 1/64 scale. That would be awesome. And over the last week, I did come across a company that's selling McLaren, like 2020 McLaren Formula One cars in 1/64 scale. So I ordered a set of those. So we'll see what those look like when they come in. But this is really nice. Very nicely detailed. And of the open wheel race cars that I have gotten in 1/64 scale, this is probably about the best one. It is very cool. So I definitely am hoping that Tarmac Works does more open wheel race cars. So I think the market needs it, and I think the market will be happy to have them because they are so rare. Yeah, this is fantastic. It's very, very cool. Awesome. And this one does it roll? I mean, the front wheels kind of slide. The rear wheels are rolling, but the front wheels are just sliding. I think this side is locked up. Yeah. Maybe that could be loosened up a little with a little work. It would loosen up, and then maybe they would roll. So close. These roll fine. Look at that. Spin fine. The front wheels, not there. They got so close. So close. All right. Racing Champions Mint Plymouth Hemi Cuda. 1971 Cuda. This looks awesome. Except for this hood. I'm a little concerned about that, but yeah, just this nice metallic gray. Black wheels. Front wheel does not look good. Let's see, is it just tire gonna pop back on there? Yeah, that can be fixed up, although something weird going on there. The stance is a little bit off. I don't know. Maybe okay. Just a cool combination though. This, you know, like metallic gray with the black wheels looks really nice. Good year on the tires. This hood is not good. See, this is a problem with Racing Champions. They just too often they're a little bit off. Like this one was awesome. This one, I have nothing to complain about with that one. That one's fantastic. This one looks really cool. That's a very cool looking profile. But the hood, and I just dropped it, and the bumper, or the whole front end just fell out and fell on the floor. I have to retrieve that. So here's the front end. So, I mean, this is easily fixable, but it's just still, yeah, it's like Greenlight. And the funny thing is Racing Champions is owned by the same company that owns Auto World. And Auto World doesn't have these kind of issues. They do so much better quality. But then it's also the same company that owns Johnny Lightning, and Johnny Lightning has all kinds of quality issues too. So, who knows? This is going to need some work. It's very disappointing. It's a cool looking car, but this hood, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that to sit right. And that front end. Oh well. Some you win, some you lose, some. Unfortunately, that one may be a loser. All right, we have two more from the Hot Pursuit series, and this one I'm just kind of curious to get it out of the package. Okay, so this is a 2020 Jeep Gladiator, Gladiator Pursuit Jeep Law, Auburn Hills, Michigan. I have no idea what about this makes this a police vehicle. It's like they just put Jeep Law on the side and call it a police vehicle. Is that? I mean, that maybe that's what it is. All right, come on, get out of the package. There we go. Because it doesn't seem to have any lights anywhere on it. Some of them, like this Ford Explorer, has red and blue lights here on the front and then in the grille. And that's part of the casting. So this casting is tailored for police vehicles. And this one just says Jeep Law on it. So, it seems I'm kind of collecting this Gladiator casting. I've been picking up quite a few of them. And so that I'm happy to have this version of it. It's a pretty nice looking Gladiator casting with a bed cover here. Put that on there the right way. Should have left the rubber band on because now it just wants to fall off. Looks pretty good. Looks good. I mean, it's a nice looking version of the Jeep, but I think it's a bit of a stretch to call it a Jeep Law. Although maybe this is just what it is. I guess I should have looked it up to see. Maybe this is just the demonstrator model that they're trying to sell it to sheriff's departments or something. And there's equipment on the inside or something that it makes it a law enforcement vehicle. As Greenlight does, in this Hot Pursuit series, they do tend to be reproductions of real world vehicles. So anyway, I like the Gladiator. It's a cool casting. So did I show the bottom? And it kind of rolls. It's a little bit of a rough roller. But, all right. One more. Mini GT. We get the Carmine Red Porsche Taycan Turbo S. This is Mini GT number 289. And not much going on this box. Love this car. If I were going to buy an electric car, I would buy one of these. Not in this color. I would get it in this color. Right there. That's what I would buy. But I'm not going to spend $200,000 on an electric car. Or any car for that matter. So I want to be getting one. This is very cool. It's straight up recolor. Nice red. The wheels look a lot better when they do this two-tone thing. This makes them look looks less interesting. Actually, they are, yeah, they're the same wheel. Yeah, they look a lot nicer with the white on the rim. But this is cool. It still looks really good. Porsche badge on the back. It's very nice. You get inserted headlights in there. Not much going on the base. No information. Mini GTs, yeah, no information on that one. I don't understand their logic for when they put information on the bottom and when they don't. Actually, let's check. Ooh, I just bent that mirror. That's not good. You do have to be careful with Mini GTs. They are fairly robust. Yeah, see, no information on that one. This is a brand new casting. Does it have it? Nope. And didn't we have one other one? Maybe not. Yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, it's the same on both of those, which is to be expected. But anyway, there we go. That is the Porsche Taycan Turbo S in Carmine Red. Thank you for watching.